I went down a rabbit hole a few months ago, trying to find out what happened to Cairo after the raid. Cairo was the Belgian Malinois that deployed with SEAL Team 6 on May 2, 2011, into a compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan. He was wearing body armor, he had a camera mounted to him. His job was to track anyone who tried to escape the perimeter while the team moved through the building. He did his job, and when the whole thing was over, he came home. What I found when I went looking for what happened next was that Cairo was retired, handed to a handler, and lived out the rest of his life as a pet. A dog that went into that compound, arguably the highest stakes single operation in the history of American special operations, retired to a couch somewhere. I don't know why that detail stuck with me the way it did. Maybe because it collapses the distance between what these dogs are capable of and what they actually are most of the time, which is just dogs. That happen to be capable of extraordinary things under the right conditions. The 10 breeds on this list have all been used by special forces, military units, or elite law enforcement programs at some point in documented history. Every single one of them can be owned by a civilian. Whether they should be is a different question, and I'll be honest about that for each one. The Belgian Malinois starts this list because Cairo started this script. The breed has been the primary working dog for U.S. Special Operations since the early 2000s. Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Delta Force, all of them have run Malinois in operational environments. The Belgian Veterinary Association published specific sedation protocol updates in 2018 because standard anesthesia doses are frequently inadequate for the breed. Their stress response under physical restraint is that elevated. That's not a side note, that's the whole dog in one fact. 40 to 80 pounds. Tops out at 30 miles per hour, lives 12 to 14 years. And if you don't give it 4 to 6 hours of structured work daily, that drive doesn't disappear. It just points at your house instead. The German Shepherd's military history is the oldest on this list and the most documented. By 1914, 48,000 were in German military service. By World War II, the U.S. military was training them specifically for scouting, mine detection, and sentry work across multiple theaters. Von Stephanitz founded the breed in 1899 on a single principle: function before appearance. And the Schutzhund program, running continuously since 1901, has preserved exactly that in the working lines. The discrimination ability documented in the 2016 Applied Animal Behavior Science study is unparalleled. Shepherds outperforming all other breeds on distinguishing genuine threat posture from a neutral, unfamiliar person is the working dog community's least sexy but most practically important fact about the breed. Working line, OFA certified parents. Anything else, and you're buying the name, not the dog. The Dutch Shepherd doesn't get mentioned in these lists nearly enough, and I find that genuinely annoying. While the Malinois was picking up cultural cachet through a series of high-profile raids and news coverage, the breed handles exactly the same working tasks as the Malinois: protection, tracking, detection, apprehension, with one quality that gets mentioned consistently by Dutch trainers: easier to turn off. The Malinois' drive is a motor that runs continuously. The Dutch Shepherd operates closer to an on-off switch, which matters enormously in a household that isn't a kennel facility. Same intelligence, same athleticism, significantly more manageable between tasks. Not a low-maintenance dog, just not the liability the Malinois becomes in the wrong household. The Rottweiler's special forces use is less flashy than the Shepherd breeds, but more documented than people realize. German military working dog programs used Rottweilers in both world wars, pulling ammunition, guarding supply lines, messenger work in conditions that required a dog that could absorb serious physical punishment and keep functioning. The bite force, measured in the 2008 Journal of Anatomy study at 328 psi, and the grip duration advantage found in the 2009 Journal of Veterinary Behavior paper, both trace directly to the cattle-driving genetics. Modern police units still run working-line Rottweilers for patrol and suspect apprehension in Germany, the Netherlands, and several Eastern European countries. The breed's lower profile in American law enforcement is partly about temperament management requirements, partly about liability insurance. Okay, this next one will surprise most people, and it probably should. The Labrador Retriever is on this list, and I'm not apologizing for it. The U.S. Army's 25th Infantry Division used labs for tunnel detection in Vietnam. The breed currently serves as the primary detection dog for the U.S. Transportation Security Administration. The UK's Royal Army Veterinary Corps runs labs for IED detection in active deployment zones. A 2011 study from Auburn University's Canine Detection Research Institute found Labrador Retrievers matching or outperforming all other breeds on odor detection tasks across multiple substance categories. The lab's special forces role isn't about biting anything, it's about the nose. And the nose on a working line lab, not the show line, not the pet line, the working line, is among the most precisely calibrated sensory instruments in the known animal world. I'll also say this. If you want a dog on this list that you can actually own without restructuring your entire life around it, the working line lab is probably the most realistic option. The bloodhound isn't a combat dog. It's never going to tackle anyone. But the U.S. Marshals Service and several special operations support units have used them for tracking fugitives across terrain that would exhaust any human tracking team. And the legal admissibility of bloodhound tracking evidence is established in American case law going back to the 1890s. A 2014 study from the National Institute of Justice found trained bloodhounds capable of tracking a scent trail up to 130 hours after the subject passed through an area. That's 5.5 days on a cold trail through weather. The breed is gentle, stubborn in a way that's almost funny to live with, and will announce its presence at a volume that leaves your neighbors in no doubt a large dog is nearby. Not for apartments, not for people who want silence, absolutely for people who want the most functional tracking animal domesticated by humans. The giant Schnauzer has been used by German police and military units since before World War I, and still serves in German federal police units today. The breed scores notably high on trainability in behavioral assessments. A 2015 review in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior covering working breed assessments found giant Schnauzers in the top tier for task retention and handler bonding. 70 to 95 pounds, low shedding, surprisingly manageable for their size with consistent training. They're also one of the few working breeds on this list that doesn't require you to build your daily schedule around its exercise needs. The Belgian Tervuren is the Malinois' less famous sibling, and it doesn't deserve the obscurity. Belgian law enforcement has used all 4 Belgian Shepherd varieties, Malinois, Tervuren, Groenendael, and Lakenois, interchangeably in working programs since the late 1800s. The Tervuren's drive is comparable to the Malinois. The coat is longer, the temperament profile slightly more measured, the liability in an understimulated home environment slightly lower. The Doberman served as the official war dog of the United States Marine Corps in World War II. 25 died in the Battle of Guam in 1944. Their memorial still stands in Dededo. The breed's speed, 32 miles per hour, and its drive made it the Marines' choice for scouting work in Pacific Island terrain. KNPV working lines in the Netherlands have maintained that original nerve through continuous selection since the early 1900s, separate from the American showline population that diluted badly in the 1970s when the breed became a status symbol. The bloodline distinction matters more for Dobermans than almost any other breed on this list. A KNPV line Doberman and an American showline Doberman are connected by name and color pattern and almost nothing else that matters for working application. The Belgian Malinois gets Cairo. The German Shepherd gets 48,000 dogs and a century of documentation. But the Bloodhound gets a legal standard that's been standing in American courts for over a century. And the Labrador gets the most precise nose in the working dog world. And the Dutch Shepherd gets the quiet respect of a police program that never needed a documentary to prove what it was doing. Cairo retired to a couch. Every dog on this list came from a line of animals that did something extraordinary, and then came home and needed dinner and a walk and somebody who understood what they were actually dealing with. That last part is the part nobody puts in the YouTube thumbnail.